And we look for the little red light to start flashing. Good evening. It's Fatboy Slim here, Norman Cook, broadcasting live for the first time ever from HMS House. This is my office. And I'd just like to preface by saying I've never done this before. So if it's a bit awkward or doesn't flow so well, I do apologise. I'm helped out today by my new friend Luke from Union.
Hello.
And Jam over there will be fending your live questions. We got some questions people asked earlier on. So this is, like I said, the first time we've ever done this as a live webcast. I don't know how interesting it'll be, but we will answer the questions by the same token that we do the Ask Norm thing on the website, where you ask questions and I answer them. So, should we start with some questions, please, Luke?
We shall. So, question number one, Norm. Alan Bowden asked, who DJ'd at your wedding? And secondly, what was yours and Zoe's first dance? Being cheesy and a wedding DJ, I'd love to know.
The DJs at our wedding were the Chemical Brothers. Our first dance never actually happened because we kind of got a bit drunk during the meal, and we were doing really well with kind of being traditional until kind of halfway through the main course, and kind of we forgot to cut the cake and we forgot to do the first dance, but it was going to be Lujon by Henry Mancini, and we actually did it at somebody else's wedding about 2 months later because we got round to it.
Good answer.
That's the first one out of the way.
Okay.
By the way, I just like to say, if I keep going like this, it's because I'm looking into the webcam, and it's not like a mirror. If I think I'm too far to the left, I go that way, which is the wrong way. Just if you think I'm bobbing about too much. Next question, please, Luke.
Okay, question number two. Andrew Austrian asks, among all the amazing creative masterminds that you've collaborated with, what are the interactions that stand out for you the most?
Well, the big three would be Bootsy Collins, who interacted so much. He's got this thing that when you're playing the funk, like Bootsy, he says everything's on the one. So when he's enjoying it, he stamps on the one. And if the tune's going well, he stamps really hard. And after 2 days of him stamping on the one, he put his foot through the floorboard in the studio. And which, if you've got office chairs, there was a carpet over it. And if you've got office chairs, if you put your one bit of the chair down the Bootsy hole, you kind of flip over. So yeah, there were forever in the studio there's a hole called the Bootsy hole, which if you didn't know it was there, it really gets you. So Bootsy, Iggy Pop was an absolute gent, and nothing like the fearsome creature things. And David Byrne, who I did quite a lot of work, did a whole album writing with him, and he's just a crazily lovely genius.
Indeed.
Indeed. It's the difficult with this, that you don't get anything back.
Yeah. Another question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Ruben asked, by your own admission, until some years ago you refused to work on a computer because you would, quote, watch porn the whole day long. So since you're now finally wired up, what sites do you check while the party people think you're DJing? Or, I think we can rephrase that, kind of, what do you think the benefits of using a computer now are in DJing?
Well, the first thing I learnt was switch your Wi-Fi off while you're DJing, because the first time I ever used a laptop using Serato, we were using Bluetooth to give away a video to people. So I'm trying to DJ and this box just keeps coming up going, do you want to download this Bluetooth video? And of course I didn't know how to switch it off. So I can't actually watch porn during the show, sadly, because my Wi-Fi's off. But it would be RedTube, probably. What was the other part of it? Very good question. And thanks for picking me up on something I said a long time ago.
I think nicely leading on, Barry from Amsterdam asked, what was the best gig ever?
Best gig ever was probably the first Big Beach Boutique. The second one was the one that everyone remembers because it was immense, but it was actually quite fraught because we were worried about safety and numbers and that. But the first one was like 65,000 people, just kind of mainly Brighton people. And I don't know, it felt like a triumphant homecoming. Though there's been a couple of Glastonburys that were probably the best gig of my life, if I could remember them.
So on that tip as well, Claudio asked, would you ever consider playing your album songs live, not as a DJ, with a full band?
Well, Claudio, sadly not. I've kind of thought about it, and record companies over the years have tried to persuade me, because they kind of would like the records promoted rather than just me going and DJing. But the nature of the music I make just really, like, where would you get all the vocalists from? How would you do the samples? I mean, most of the stuff is based on kind of little snippets of samples, so it's not really a live performance. And it would just take so much equipment and so many guests to make it, and it wouldn't sound as good as the record. So I prefer to do the inverse of it and just mash the tunes up even more rather than going the live route.
And speaking of mashing the tunes up, Michael asks, when are you touring? When are you touring next?
We're touring next this Thursday. We got the 5-night stand. Can I show you the warboard just to break up the monotony of what we're doing and to prove this is live? I'm going to attempt now to show you the warboard. This is all the shows. Oh, just turn the lights up a bit. This is all the shows I did last year, and going over into the new year. So we're looking at Hard Cruise in Fort Lauderdale, and then Brazil, and then going into Australia in March. You probably can't read that, but that is the dates, and that's what I did this year on my holidays. Moving swiftly on. Plug yourself back in. This is great. This is like a TV show, and you don't have to be vaguely professional or interesting.
So, controversial question here from Jimmy Asbo.
Jimmy Asbo,
Yeah.
good name.
Yeah, exactly. Not sure if it's his real name, but Jimmy Asbo, all the same. How does a genre like dubstep seem to have more mainstream staying power than Big Beat did?
Ooh. Oh, that's contentious. I don't know. There's always a point with music and it going overground, which I always think once it's been on like a shredded wheat advert, that's kind of when it's gone too overground, which is sort of kind of happening to dubstep right now. So yeah, I wouldn't get too cocky, Jimmy Asbo. Don't get too cocky about dubstep. I don't know. I think Big Beat had a kind of shelf life because the idea was a bit, slightly a one-trick pony, which is why we all sort of tried to move on swiftly. As soon as kind of everyone started making it, it was time to move on.
Cool. Well, Fernando asked if you had the possibility to make your own festival with 2 more guest DJs, who would you choose, why, and where would you do it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Fernando, because I have. I have, and my festival is at the Amex Stadium in Brighton in June, on June the 1st and 2nd. Big Beach Boutique 5, and my lineup of choice would be Carl Cox, Nero, and of course Union.
Thank you.
Thanks for feeding us that one, Fernando.
And apologies to this person, but Denise or Dennis, distinction there. Norm, when do you have time to cook?
When do I have time to cook? As soon as I get home. When I've been out gigging, the first thing I want to do, I think it's a bit like kind of a cat spraying its territory. As soon as I get home, I have to kind of put everything back in the kitchen and cook a meal and feel that I've laid my scent once more at home. So yeah, no, I have to cook. I'll be honest with you, I have to cook because my wife doesn't. My wife won't and can't. So yeah, it's one of my relaxing pleasures when you get back from Mayhem on tour.
Cool. Well, I think kind of coming back from Mayhem on tour, perhaps when you're on tour, Amanda Rudolph asks, if you only had one song to listen to over and over on a deserted island, which would it be?
I reckon it would be the Patrick Cowley 15-minute mega mix of I Feel Love, which was the tune that, if you get a chance, check out that mix, because it sort of starts with I Feel Love, and then it goes really dubby for about 7 minutes, and basically invented acid house music during those 7 minutes. And yeah, just when you're totally dubbed out, it then comes back and finishes off the song. Also, the fact it's 15 minutes long would mean that you get more bang for your buck.
And taking it off music for a minute, Ross Mitchell asks simply, where do you think Brighton will finish in the league this year?
Ooh, I think mid-table would suit us. We started well, thinking about the playoffs, but I think realistically mid-table.
And
by the way, can I just to break up the monotony of the relentless questions? Do you know how many viewers we got? How many listeners? Are they viewers or listeners? Hundreds. Tell me if it's dipping. If it starts really dipping, because we don't know how long we're doing this. By the way, as long as your questions come in, I'll keep answering them. I suppose.
260.
260. Well done, you 260 lucky listeners, and the 270th will get a flag. Are we giving this away?
Yeah,
we're giving away. This is flag. The right way round, yeah. This is the flag right around that we gave away at the Amex Stadium at the West Ham game to announce the Big Beach Boutique, and in a kind of cheesy Saturday morning TV mixed with the QVC channel, we will be giving this away. What, to random question, the best question?
Best question.
Best question,
Yeah,
all right.
At the end, decide what was your favourite question.
God, that requires memory. No, I think when the next really good question that comes up, you will get sent this very limited edition, because we made 10,000 of them, we gave them away, and you won't see any more like this. Shameless plugging, if I could centre it. Oh, and it gives me a respite from being on the screen as well. Next question, please, Luke.
Appropriately, Mika asks, which is the nearest hotel to the Amex Stadium?
The nearest hotel to the... it's probably Lewis, because technically Lewis is nearer to Falmer, where the stadium is, than Brighton. The train links are probably better, because there'll be a lot of people coming out of Brighton, and it's 2 stops from Brighton. It's only 1 stop from Lewis. And there's very pleasant hotels. Lewis is a lovely young market town. Yeah, stay in Lewis.
And Abril asks, how did the smiley face become your trademark?
Good question. Ooh. Could that be the flag winner?
I think that's
a flag winner, and ties in the smiley face. It wasn't. How do I do this? It all started with this, which is after a wild weekend in Lanzarote. I woke up with this, and that's kind of been my sort of emblem and symbol for me. And I started collecting smileys. It was about the time when sort of the first wave of rave was dying down, and everyone was giving away smiley stickers because no one wanted to buy them. And I started collecting them, and just over the years it's got adopted as this kind of Fatboy Slim trademark, but mainly because it was tattooed on me, and I don't know, I think it's quite a good logo, I think.
And good answer.
Yeah, so sorry, what was her name again?
That was Abril.
Abril, you win the prize, you win the flag.
We'll be in touch.
We'll be in touch.
So Patrick Murray asks, why do you DJ barefoot?
Ah, very good. Actually, that would have been contender for the flag as well. I DJ barefoot because I can dance better. I started kind of doing it just because it was like mentally hot, and then every time I did wear shoes, I felt somehow kind of inhibited in my hips when I was dancing. Yeah, I think I just, some might argue against this, but I think I dance better barefoot. And to those who argue, I'd say, you want to see me dance with shoes on? It's even worse.
Okay, moving on. Anton asks, what do you consider your main activity, DJing or producing?
At the moment, my main activity is definitely DJing. I haven't done a huge amount of producing in the last couple of years, but it sort of comes in waves. Kind of after, if you do too much of one thing, you get a bit bored of it. And I've been doing this a while, so I kind of, there's times when you want to be out on the road, and times when you want to be kind of. I find the studio a bit sort of claustrophobic at the moment, so yeah, at the moment, if it kind of on my passport, it'd probably say DJ rather than producer, but that might all change next year.
Hmm. So Andy James asked, "What has been your best big beach boutique?"
Definitely the first one. Yeah, I mean the first one had a kind of magic because we didn't know if it would work, if anyone would turn up, if we'd be allowed to do it. And when we knew that there was tons of people there and they were all having fun, there was a real kind of yes moment, and just suddenly thought, oh my god, I am on the beach just down the road from my house, and it's worked and it's happening. Yeah, it's a bit like sex. Your first time isn't necessarily the most impressive, but it's the one you remember with the most fondness.
Moving on.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sarah, by the way, if you're watching.
So Kate Clifton from Brighton asked, "Did you ever actually meet Christopher Walken, and are you friends?"
I did meet Christopher Walken. I'd like to think we're friends. You'd have to ask him that. I was supposed to be in the video at the beginning. I was supposed to be doing the hoovering when he was in the hotel lobby, but my wife decided to have our first child that weekend, so I wasn't allowed out. So I didn't meet him until the MTV Awards, but then I sat next to him for like 3.5 hours through the whole MTV Awards. And yeah, he was a very, very nice chap. I'd like to call him a friend. He might think otherwise, but...
So the next question, we got a postulation from Scott Jameson.
A postulation?
Yes. Scott says, "I was watching the video for Bear Hug by the Two Bears.
Right.
And you don't have to be to Colombo to work out where it was shot. And it got me thinking, are you like Tony Soprano in Brighton? Do you have to have a taste of any action that happens in your town?"
A taste of any... You didn't see, by the way, the hand movements. A taste of any action in my town. I was really with you on the first bit of the question. Yes, the Bear Hug video was shot at my house. Simply because it's cheap. In fact, that was the second video we'd done at my house, because Armand Van Helden did My. It's cheap and cheerful, and it's got a beach and a hot tub, so yeah, why not? As for the Tony Soprano bit and the action, no, I'm just a cheapskate, and when we need a location for the videos that looks vaguely glamorous, we go for mine.
Okay, well, a lot of people have asked this kind of question, and Benito...
Can I just say, by the way, don't you think Luke is really professional at this?
Thank you kindly.
You should do this for a living.
I may. I tell you what, before we get on to that one, Matt Kaplan from New York says, "Are you still using vinyls?"
It depends how you define using. I don't play out with them anymore, unless it's kind of I do the odd kind of wedding, or when we did the Big Beat Boutique reunion, I did, simply because I haven't digitised all the tunes that I used to play. So yeah, if I'm doing a sort of retrospective party set, I will pull them out. But it's kind of, yeah, I've kind of moved on. The worst thing, the only reason I stopped using vinyl is when they stopped releasing vinyl, I'd still cut acetates. That was all right. It's when I couldn't get Technics decks around the world that had been serviced and cleaned and actually worked. And yeah, you'd go on and they'd be jumping, and we had some problems. And when you're using Serato as well, that they don't like the decks jogging because it completely confuses it. So yeah, for that reason, I've kind of moved on to Serato, and I do enjoy the freedom of being able to jump up and down without the decks jumping. But I've still got all the vinyl, and I still love them, but I don't use them like I used to.
Okay, and going into some more kind of geeky questions now, I think.
Yeah,
right, let's geek out for a little while.
Yeah, let's get geeky.
So, Scott Jameson asks, "Why didn't Michael Jackson make it onto Better Living? Is he mental?"
Is I mental? He's not mental. No, I didn't do it until after I'd finished Better Living Through Chemistry, and it was a B-side of something. But yeah, no, it would have got on the album if I'd done it in time. But I think I sort of did it after we finished the album, which is sometimes. Oh, my screen's gone blank. Is that just screensaver? Are we still on?
Yeah,
I think we're safe.
Still on. I can see you now.
Adam's going to come running in if we're not.
No, we're still on. Definitely. I can see it.
Yes, we're still on. Yeah.
We have a thumbs up. And another geeky one from Stephen. I'll read the question in its entirety because I think it's very well thought out.
Okay.
What was the inspiration behind the breakdown and build-up of Santa Cruz's middle section? All the beautiful sounds contrasting to the sharp electric guitar in the first part, it surely has to be one of the greatest in dance music, especially with the subtle mode change the guitar part creates when it comes back in over the new chords. Do you remember anything that inspired you or how it came together?
Yes. Yeah, no, actually, the main... I don't know about... maybe overthinking it a little bit there, but the main thing was New Order. I kind of had this one-note guitar riff that kind of, yeah, was just a one-note guitar riff and trying to think of different chords, and I just started playing a bass line that sounded like a New Order tune. I'm trying to remember. It was a very kind of New Order-y chord progression, and yeah, it just sort of fitted. I think it felt quite nice to have a sort of a reference point that wasn't hip-hop or house music. Taking it, yeah. So New Order was the inspiration. I think if you listen to it again, you can kind of hear me slightly ripping them off. Slightly quoting. What? It might have been Ceremony. There you are. For the real geeks, the Arsenal regulars who get really geeky about reference points, try and work out which New Order song it was I ripped off on Santa Cruz. And you might get a free flag.
Okay, so let's talk about DJing for a little while. Question in from Benito Lugo.
Another cool name.
Yeah. He's from Arizona, and he says, your performance at Detroit Electronic Music Festival this summer blew my mind. How important do you think stage presence is for a DJ?
I think stage presence is second after your actual kind of DJing skills, because it does take it to another level. There's great DJs who are really technically good, but if they don't kind of wind the crowd up, then I think they're kind of missing a bit of euphoria and excitement they can create. Yeah, it's something like the Detroit Music Festival. There's such a kind of and it was like the closing it on a Sunday night, and everyone was kind of like, this is the last gasp of the whole weekend, and there's a sort of feeling of release. And yeah, I think if anything you can do at that point to try and get the crowd higher, whether it's waving your arms around or you know what you can do with the visuals, I think it gives you kind of a step up on duller DJs who are, especially ones who kind of just stare down at a computer screen or something like that. A bit of performance is all part of the showbiz of it, and yeah, it gets you noticed. And takes the crowd just that one notch higher.
Okay, and on from that, Gabriel asks, what do you believe is expected or required from a DJ playing in front of a live audience?
Expected or required? I'm just reading. You didn't ask the whole question because I looked down and saw
I was following on.
I saw Major Lazer and DJ Shadow, and I
thought you'd already answered that.
No, because I'm glad you said that. The question has been crossed out. No, because I think Major Lazer and Shadow are two people who really do take it to another level. I think what's expected is for you to portray your personality above and beyond the Call of Duty. And Shadow has got the dome show, the circular show, which really kind of draws you into the world of DJ Shadow. And Major Lazer are just mental party animals who make you leap up and down. So, yeah, I think what's expected is for you to present your personality. Mine is the kind of Hawaiian shirt and G'ing up the crowd. Major Lazer, I think, yeah, probably Major Lazer is one of the gigs I've most enjoyed the whole of this year. Check them out if you ever get a chance to see Major Lazer. They're bonkers.
On the previous.
There was a flurry of activity. Sorry if I got a bit put off during that one. There was all this stuff. Everyone's pouring over screens.
We have a contender.
You got very excited over there. What's exciting you over there, Jam?
It's Bugsy Walton.
Bugsy.
He thinks he knows what sample you used in Santa Cruz. He thinks it's Blue Monday.
Sorry, Bugsy. Nice try, no cigar.
He says, "Give me that flag, or I'll kill the bunny."
Give the flag, or the bunny gets it.
I don't know whether that means if he's right or wrong. But.
Well, it was a musical quote. It wasn't a sample. I just played a bass line that sounded like New Order, but it wasn't Blue Monday.
Okay.
Sorry, Bugsy. Think again.
So here's a good one. Samuel Sumner. Oh, hang on.
Think again. And by the way, Bugsy, you mess with the. What was going to get it?
The bunny.
If the bunny gets it, then Foxy here is going to get one up the nostril. I staple him.
So Samuel asks, how have your ears survived such savage sound systems? A bit of alliteration there.
The question, the answer is there is some collateral damage. I've actually lost a little bit of the top end in one of my ears. I could tell because when I'm in bed, if I lie with one ear on the pillow, the telly goes all muffled. And then if I lie with the other ear, it comes back again. So yeah, you lost a little bit of top end. But I think I've been quite lucky. The thing is, you only have to have the music as loud as you want your monitors turned up. So if you really get off on the sheer volume, you will blast your ears. But I mean, so many mates of mine who are DJs have got tinnitus over the years. So I thank the Lord that I've been spared thus far. The answer is, yeah, turn your monitors down a bit.
Let's have another geek out. We've got one here from Stephen. What is your favourite piece of equipment and why?
My favourite piece of equipment has got to be the Roland TB303 bassline. Goes without saying, it's the most kind of soulful electronic instrument, and all the noises it makes just kind of turn me on. And it's the only electronic music. When I do the 303 pass in tunes, I actually make the faces that people do when they're doing guitar solos. If guitarists are going, wow, you can't do that when I'm tweaking the 303. And it's a very simple but very expressive instrument.
Cool.
And none of those plugins that you buy actually sound as good as a real 303.
Talking of 303s, Ken asks, besides your own music, what do you consider some of the best old school big beat tunes?
Best old school big beat? Probably Chemical Brothers, Brothers Gonna Work It Out, or I don't know. Probably Tom and Ed probably hate me for describing as big beat. Sorry, Tom and Ed. I think Brothers Gonna Work It Out for me was that was when I thought that is a brilliant sound. That kind of coins it. And my mind's gone completely blank. I'm looking around for inspiration. The only other one I can think of is a Kaniki remix. No, a Mint Royale remix of Kaniki, which I can't remember the title of it. Where it went dink dink dink. It'll come to me. If this is normal Arsenal, when I can Google things and send you little links, I would have told you the exact tune. But I'll try and remember and ask that in the online Ask Norm at fatboyslim.net.
Okay, so interesting one here from Alison. Should Craig No One be renamed Craig Someone?
Oh, hold on, you have to read this one. By Craig No One, you mean Craig Noon, who's a Brighton player. Oh, I get it, Craig No One, renamed. Yeah, you have to sort of see the hyphenation of the... Can you read that? He's called Craig Noon. It's actually pronounced Noone. Noone, in a kind of vaguely Scouse accent, or, in fact, to give it its full pronunciation, it's Noone, Noone. Craig Noon is not a no one, and someone there doesn't have the same ring to it.
We've just had Rory Hoy come in.
Rory Hoy?
Yeah.
Now there's a name I recognise from our school.
Helping you with
Hi, Rory.
helping you with your momentary amnesia.
Oh yeah,
the
ultimate train spotter as well. Rory is.
The Mint Royale tune is called "Take It Easy."
Take It Easy. There you are. Is it? No, it's Mint Royale's remix of Kaniki. Or is it? Oh, yeah. That was one I used to play, Rory, though. Well spotted. Oh, arch train spotter.
Okay, so Connie asks, how excited are you for Holy Ship?
How excited? I'm equally excited. For those of you who don't know, Holy Ship is a 3-day rave cruise in the beginning of January, for 5th of January, starting at Fort Lauderdale and ending up in Nassau in the Bahamas, doing a party on a deserted island. I'm very excited because I've never done a 3-day rave cruise before, and the lineup is second to none. It's Diplo, A-Track, do you have anyone? Diplo, A-Track. It's a really good lineup, and kind of, yeah. But I am a little bit worried about being locked on a rave cruise for 3 days, kind of 24-hour partying. Yeah, especially because I don't drink anymore. It might get a bit kind of much. So no, I'm looking forward to it because it's something I've never done before in my life, and it's a kind of a set of muscles I've never used before. But whether I say that at the end of 3 days of intense raving with a load of American nutters, we'll find out. Watch this space.
Okay.
Who else is it on the bill?
I'm just getting.
Oh,
no, my computer's.
Jam's just finding out the rest of the bill for the. But it is for the Hard lot who I played a few shows before, and they do put on a very good show. Well done, you Hard boys.
So I think we've kind of saved the best for last here.
All right.
So I will again read this question in its entirety. This is from Andrew. So Andrew says, the whole Fatboy Slim ordeal has always had this incredibly polished feel to it, despite intended simplicity and overall we don't give a damn attitude. The videos, the taglines, the general feel of it all fell into place beautifully. What steered those little cool tidbits, images, catchphrases, all surrounding the project? Was there a grand presentational strategy, a particular method to the madness, or did it just naturally accumulate over time?
There was absolutely no method to the madness. It was just madness. No, it was just what came out. But probably, I don't know, sort of. I think Skint Records recognised which bits of my character to kind of concentrate on. But no, I mean, all the kind of catchphrases and things were just things that came out, and we just thought that's funny. I'd love to you flatter me that there was any more thought in it than that. But no, it was just no method, just madness. Cool. I just realised we've done 35 minutes of this.
That's very good.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Excellent.
That's loads. We'll be back next time.
We'll be back next time, folks. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in, who's listened to this. Thanks to everyone who asked questions. Thank you to Luke and Jam for helping do. And thanks to Adam next door. Oh, he's skulking out there. Thanks to Adam for monitoring it to make sure we're in the air. Thanks to you, the questioner and the viewers. Any other questions you've got, send them to Ask Norm, the regular Ask Norm, at fatboyslim.net. And yeah, any ones that involve me watching anything you'd sent, obviously we can't do live. So yeah, send them through to the regular Ask Norm, and I'll endeavour to answer your questions. This has been Norm on Ask Norm, live on the web. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good evening.
And breathe.
That was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good.
Thank you.
Nice one.
Really good.
Yeah,
Really
awesome.
good.
Really good.
Yeah, that was a lot less painless than I thought. That's alright, there was no major gaps, were there?
After about 3 minutes, I was like, God, we've done about 10 questions.
It sounds like any new ones.
Yeah.
No, we did. We got through all of these.
half an hour.
The stream was really good as well. It was like really didn't
When
freeze up.
the adverts suddenly came on mine.
Yeah, it comes up after about 20 minutes of
And
viewing.
also when it starts, people might have missed the start. But it's archived, right? So people can go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's really
But I mean, we had around it stayed at around 160, 170 live.
And then total views was what,
I mean,
400?
what's that? Yeah. How does that fare? I mean,
So we did an above and beyond live gig like stream from a pub.
Yeah.
That was heavily promoted, and that got around about 1,000.
You're supposed to say that only got like.
That was a gig.
Yeah.
That was full on.
So bear in mind that was a full-on gig, and that was sponsored by a huge
So
tech company.
Yeah.
So that
watching a
what
gig
is that?
from an intimate venue is a lot different from watching.
Exactly. And this
A
was
bloke
only
asking
been promoted for
geeky
like
questions.
it's only been promoted for about 6 days.
Yeah,
That was a whole month campaign.
I mean, Annie Mac, when she does hers, she gets like 50 or 60.
50 or 60. Yeah.
Okay.
She does
Really?
Yeah.
So she still does it.
Yeah.
But hers, she just sits on a sofa with toddler, kind of playing tunes. It's kind of a bit,
It's a bit weird.
yeah, slightly odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, but no, that's a really good
I
response.
think it's amazing. Really happy.
And obviously, we'll get a lot of views over the coming days. But
Yeah, it's loads of content.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, great.
It's sort of it had a kind of pace to it after.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But the thing is,
And you
because
held
it's so
people as
relentless,
well.
there is no sort of let's play a record and go and have a fag and think about it. It's just like I'll just keep talking then.
I mean, until about 32 minutes, it stayed, and then it just like started to drop off a little bit. Started to
It
dip
held
at
off
the end.
perfectly, yeah.
But to keep them there for half an hour, I think it's great.
well done, studio.
Awesome. Should we go and have a fag?
I didn't realise I was going to have to ask you every single question.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, just have it. Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Well, we do some of the podcasts and stuff. Yeah. Only recently have we kind of been, we worked with, do you know Rachel Martin? She works with these sort of people and they're a regular one. Yeah, she's been hanging for a while. So she left the group and she's doing lots of independent stuff. So we worked with her. She puts through some rigorous stuff into the training. Oh, really? Yeah, so they kind of, yeah. Oh, God, I did that now. No, it's been good. We managed to get like Adam's heads off the post that we were shouting. Don't get too famous. Yeah. Despite providing wrong information. If you've got any information, just know that. Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple, I saw a couple of them on the side. Couple of celebrity Big Brother requests. Oh yeah, so I'm a celebrity. Yeah, no, I'm a celebrity. So it's so important for the kind of the key fans as well to know that you're actually there. You know, like it's just so important. The benefits of that will be felt for a month afterwards. Because it's a load of people that are actually looking at your page for half an hour. The most important thing with me is to be honest, that's the thing I'm most really yeah, that's so yeah, and it States are. The other thing I think about doing music is you are asking for some of the assumptions. If you make it sit for a record, I'm sitting there, not doing anything, or looking at another website. Yeah. I think we kind of short and snap. Unless we make yeah, it's just trying to hold things. Speed is so that's yeah. It's like a long interview. The thing in your ear as well, like yeah, I only think I'm really that interested. What I don't understand is how I can do the same stuff. Yeah, that's it. 2 years. Yeah, I've never actually tried to go to the wall. You've got a queue there, but you're reading off the side of your ear, and that's what you say. I mean, one time I was stood there and watched off the cold pack. I was stood in front of the sofa at Joe Wyman sits, and on the cover they just go to the sofa and her what's his face. And they just, it's just like, speak. It's so much, it's just something dormant. All the stuff. And your condition as well. Yeah. I get a newfound respect for my wife on a daily basis. Well, yeah. It's easy to sit and watch the telly and you know, you see it presenting, oh, there, it's so hard.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant thing to do.
Felt a lot better than when we did our tryout radio show.
What, the pirate one?
No, it's probably before your time. Gary had this idea of doing a syndicated radio show involving me talking, and I'm like, all I do is just kind of back announce the tunes and be quite sort of.
But you did that
nerdy
show
about
for
it.
six recently, where it was it somebody was talking to you and you were talking through your record collection.
Yeah, that was all right. Well, also, but Matt's a mate of mine.
So you know him.
But no, I've done. Yeah, no, they're quite easy because you're talking about.